I'm lost in darkness, searching for light. Every step forward feels like a fight. Shadows of doubt creep in my mind, but I refuse to surrender. I must find a way to rise above the pain, to overcome, to break the chains. My existence is a test of will. I won't be broken, I'll stand still. The weight of the world crushes me down. Fear and uncertainty all around. But I deep find inner strength to face the trials length by length. A way to rise above the pain, to overcome, to break the chains. My existence is a test of will. I won't be broken, I'll stand still. Through every storm, I'll find my way. Through every night, a brighter day. I'll rise from ashes like a phoenix born. My spirit. Day to day, nothing changes. All I want is a moment to think clearly, but thoughts come unrelenting, consuming every waking moment. My mind binds me and I can't escape. I shout for help, but no one hears me. One day I feel I'll just disappear. Lost in this chaos, I'm searching for.
Yo, what the fuck is up? It's John Escudero, and I'm here with the boys, Nick, Greg. Talk to the people. Tell them hi. Caress them.
Hey, people. I'm not going to do that necessarily, but I will say what is up. We are here
Unless the-
to talk. And no, I'm not going to do that, but I will give them the own skull. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Bruno. He's back.
Harass
Yay,
them?
by popular demand. I'm not going to harass them necessarily, but I will absolutely let them know all about our skulls because we're going to be awarding plenty of Brunos to all kinds of matches and wrestlers and things like that. Yada, yada, yada. But I've talked long enough. I have an illness. So, Greg, I'll let you do much more of the talking.
An illness. He's so ill.
Doing.
No, don't
what's
say it
up?
like that.
Greg's here, and I'm wondering why I'm frozen in place.
You're not. We can see you
Not our
move.
thing.
You're frozen by yourself.
Okay, it is on my angle. Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up. Well, we can see your beautiful face, and it moves. Talk to the people. Well, the people who are listening can't see shit anyway. They don't care. They don't care.
That's also fair.
They can't see this cool thing, right?
Oh, hell. Look at Nick. No, he didn't do anything cool. I'm sorry, kids. I was lying.
Excuse me? That was awesome. What are you talking about?
Oh, man.
I
Hey.
guess you gotta just watch it to find out. Well, we lost John. Hey, Greg, how's it going, man?
It's going great. I am currently watching the WWE Universe mode playthrough a whole bunch of WCW stuff.
Ooh, I support that absolutely.
Bret Hart just pinned Harley Race.
Perfect. January the 10th, we'll be doing WCW Green 2001 coverage, and so go join myself, Mac, Robbie, whoever else wants to pop on in there. Hey, John's back.
I'm alive.
Greg,
I hit the wrong button because it's a new home we're in.
At least you
Anyway.
didn't do what I did and end the show prematurely.
I forgot that happened. Hey, listen, it's January 2nd, but we're still celebrating, baby. Yeah, no, it's the year's.
Wow.
It's a new year. It's a new year. We're leaving all old shit behind. But before we go, I just wanted to take a look back at all the best of the year 2024, the best matches, the best wrestlers, the best shows, the best moments, and maybe even talk about some negative stuff because that's always fun.
Hmm.
Is
But
someone getting the best, the best, the best, the best, the
no,
best, the best?
we've got awards to send out. No, I'm kidding. I'm not sending anybody anything.
Bruno's.
Well, that's his.
The Dorsey Radio dildos are back. Let's go. What did we ever find a what the fuck is Greg showing us?
What is that?
Alright, I got it to work. Okay, I got it working on my end again.
I thought
You
that's
wanted
what
to
we're giving everyone Scotch tape.
We're giving out Scotch tape and motor oil. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
So Scotch
No,
tape and motor oil goes to.
The Dorsey Radio dildos. Did we ever figure out what dildo stood for? I feel like I thought we did. The intelligent. Like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that on the spot.
I don't know
Anyway.
if that's
The more you
allowed.
try, the worse it's gonna go.
Where
Listen.
the advertisers go.
What'd you guys? Well, how was your holiday? You get anything nice? You didn't get anything nice?
I got some lovely Star Wars products from my aunt,
Oh, that's what's up. What about you, Nick?
including you'll want to see this, John. We got electronic Star Wars chopsticks.
Oh
They
shit!
look like
I,
lightsabers.
Electronic chopsticks. How does that work?
I've never used
The
chopsticks.
actual stick lights up.
That's
I
really
thought
like
they
cool.
were
a
like
lightsaber.
automatic, like you plug them in and they just like.
I feel like we're just encouraging me to fight at the dinner table with chopsticks. And I don't know if you want that.
So for Crimbus, I ended up grabbing one of these things because I got a couple of gift cards. So your boy got himself, of course, with his gift cards, the duck hat.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
the duck hat.
I love that. I fucking was muted for a second and I didn't even realize.
I wore it on the pay-per-view World's End stream we did.
Jesus, Jesus, thanks for joining us, Mac.
Yo.
Hello, you fucking jerk. I'm happy to have you here.
Mac attack.
Tell him my New Year's resolution is to stop being such a pussy. I'm not gonna. I'm
God.
tired of this podcast personality I have to put on for you people. I grow weary of this lie. I'm sick and tired of treating everyone so nicely. Nobody deserves it. I'm
John,
fucking
you sick and
sick.
tired of being sick and tired?
No, Mac is right. I did call him my princess. He knows he is.
What?
I did. You're my princess too, Nick. You too, Greg. What the
Yay.
fuck you talking about?
Woo.
No, but yeah, man. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the holidays. I got some Attack on Titan music playing in the background, and I don't know if it's only for me. I don't know if you guys wanted in on that.
I can't hear it, but I'd love to.
I love Attack on Titan so much. This is actually live. This is live. This is a very nice lady.
Is this gonna get us? Is this gonna get us?
No, it's not for them. I'm sorry, everyone. We're listening to it safely.
Boys.
Safely within ourselves so that we don't get kicked
okay.
off the air. Honestly, I wish I could. I mean, it's not like we would get in trouble. It's Attack on Titan music. The show is over. Who's copyrighting live
Let's
covers?
show. I know now that I say this, it's probably not going to work. But back in the day, when I made YouTube videos, I used to be able to pop some Halo soundtrack in there, and I was fine.
I guess it depends on how active the property is and shit like that. We'll test it
You know,
out.
it's
We'll
funny.
play around with it.
What's funny is when I used to make like YouTube. Nice. When I used to make YouTube music videos of like wrestling music videos, right? That stuff sat on YouTube for years until New Japan finally learned the YouTube game, and a bunch of my New Japan music got copyrighted.
Oh no!
They learned the YouTube game and they never took their foot off the fucking pedal.
No, they did not.
Not even images. That's all right. Hey, if there's one thing I want, if there's one gift that you all could give me this year, is to go watch Attack on Titan already. It's finished. There's no reason in the world why you can't pirate 69 fucking episodes of the greatest piece of fiction you've ever read or watched in your life. So I got confused there.
I do have to get back to it. I only watched the first season.
Don't get back to it. Start that shit over. There's no fucking. You do yourself no favors jumping back into the middle of Attack on Titan. It's like jumping right into the ocean for some reason. I was swimming in here last time. I got this, and then you drown.
Oh, no.
And
then you drown.
Hey, listen though. You guys are here to talk about the best wrestlers and the best of the year. Well, we might as well get into it.
This is for the visual people. I have this.
Oh shit! That's sick.
Wow,
We got the Scout Regiment logo there. Is that a bracelet?
I used to have a Scout Regiment. I used to have a Scout Regiment wallet.
I've had Attack on Titan shirts. I got the Blu-rays coming eventually, but I don't have enough merch. I feel like for something that I literally think is the greatest piece of fiction I've ever experienced. I don't have nearly enough merch. I have like a poster hanging around there somewhere, but it's not nearly enough. I have a tattoo, honestly.
With My Hero Academia, I gotta have everything. I got all the mangas. Pretty much. I'm waiting for the next volume to come out the day after my birthday. So if anyone wants to give me a birthday present, I'm just saying. But I also got some hats, I got some shirts, whatnot. But lately, my anime manga love has been Mashal. Like, oh my gosh, Mashal's been great. I cannot wait for when Season 3 comes out.
Yeah,
Magic and Muscles, baby.
All right,
highly suggested. If you haven't seen it, check it
out. There were a couple other rankings that came out from other places: Bleacher Report, Sports Illustrated, ESPN. We've posted those and we've talked about those online, but we'll mostly be talking about our Greg, pay attention. No, we have posted those on our website and everything. I did want to go over the Sports Illustrated top 10 men's matches of the year because one, I thought this was fairly accurate, but two, I saw a lot of discourse because one man shows up quite a bit on the list, and I think all three of us can guess who that one man is going to be.
Is it the goat face? Is it the Billy Goat?
It should be, but it's the bruv. Sports Illustrated ranks the top 10 matches of 2024. Number 10, Will Ospreay versus Darby Allin on the Holiday Bash. Number 9.
That's what I was referring to, the Billy Goat.
Yeah, Billy Goat.
They said the guy that looks like the goat. Fuck. That's the other one. That's the actual goat. Mike Bailey versus Konosuke Takeshita at number 9. Kazuchika Okada versus Bryan Danielson at Wrestle Kingdom. Number 8. Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita at Revolution. Number 7. Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. at The New Beginning. Number 6. Roman versus Cody at WrestleMania. Number 5. Ospreay versus MJF 1 on Dynamite. That's the 59-minute one. Number 4. Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland at Forbidden Door. Number 3. Number 2. Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk. Hell in a Cell. And you know what that means. Number 1. Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson at Wrestle Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't want to shame you guys.
Number 1.
Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson at Wrestle Dynasty.
Okay.
First of all, it's hard to disagree with that. It's just as funny because 1, 2, 3, 4, half of the top 10 is Will Ospreay.
Sounds about right.
And you know that fucking pisses people off that don't watch Will Ospreay matches because they can't possibly understand. Oh, how can it be so good? Take a second.
So good, he avoids the grind.
No, but see, the internet told me he doesn't sell. He's not selling.
No, he doesn't accept the grind. What the heck?
He's not selling, and he's not grinding enough. I don't want to see him grinding. Finn Balor does enough grinding into the camera. Do we need more people?
Jeez.
Ospreay would probably be good at it.
Are you boys ready for the grind?
That's weird. Stop it. No.
Not a grind.
No. That's our boy. Actually, that Sports Illustrated list too. That is a collective of people at Sports Illustrated, including our boy Sid.
Let's go.
from True Hill Heat.
Yep.
Check them out. I love that guy. He's great. We got to do more work with them. I never want to
Do
bother
it.
them because they have so much going on. I don't want to be like, hey, and then I look like I'm just trying to fucking get into what they got going on. But no, those are my
You wanna
guys, man. We got to do more work.
bro?
We do
Good.
work with so many other people. They should have been first.
Let's do it right now.
But right now, wake him up. Honestly, he's
Yeah.
probably awake.
Good.
The guy's a hard worker. He's always working. So that brings us to. I wanted to ask you guys, how did that sound to you? Different from your top 10?
There are a few things I would probably want to throw onto that list. I don't know if I have a whole top 10, but I feel like I'm being that asshole. It's very centric.
Centric.
Somebody
to
on
wrestling.
somebody make centric to the country.
Oh yeah, yeah. Imagine that's probably a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like saying the fucking weekly Japan Pro Wrestling magazine is centric to Japanese wrestling, though, right? Sports Illustrated is a U.S. publication.
Listen, I'm only speaking. Yeah, I can only speak from my vantage point on that. If you're asking me if I agree, like I think, like there's a few starter matches in there I would throw up. I will say it felt weird to think about
Top 10 men's
best matches of the year and like, sure, it felt weird to do that and not think of Wrestle Kingdom at any point. But I actually don't remember Wrestle Kingdom from last year.
Danielson.
Yeah, the Okada Bryan match is mine. It sticks with me because that's the match that I wanted. The first one to be with Brian broke his arm, and even then, even then, I always say like even then he had that match with a broken arm. That is the greatest wrestler in the fucking history. But yeah,
Okada's been in AEW for so long that I forget he was there. He was at that show.
It's only been a year, but it feels like so much has gone on. Max says Takeshita versus Ospreay was for the boys. He loves that match like it was his child. Understandable. I watched it again. As the year was ending, I put on a lot of the matches that I remembered as some of my favorite matches of the year to see if they would hold up. And pretty much all of them did, first of all. Takeshita Ospreay match was an interesting experience because they did something that I think if I was like a teacher grading a score, like a test, I'd have to take a point from them. They
interesting,
and then I watched Bryan and Ospreay right after that, and they avoided that, like, and they didn't do that. So I'm like, okay, so like I'm not bugging because Ospreay and Takeshita went so hard, so early on that midway through the match they were trying to do like normal things, like forearms and shit, and the crowd was just like dead. Like, get to the next super amazing power driver powerbomb thing, and I was like, fuck, that's a pacing issue. So if like I was a teacher grading a test, I'd be like, fuck, I had to get like an A-, right? So that was the one thing I noticed.
That's why those matches are really hard to do because like you see a lot of the guys a lot of the matches you see where they throw bombs early only last 10 minutes because like there's nowhere to go from here, so you gotta end it.
Yeah, that's why, like when I think about like pacing wise, when I look at Ospreay and Danielson, that was paced to perfection. Whatever might have kind of had a little falter from like the Takeshita match, everything was just like picked right back up like the following month at Wrestle Dynasty, or I'm sorry, at AEW Dynasty, and all in all, that was.
I've seen that mistake we made so many times.
Yeah, and that was a goated match by far. And Ospreay Danielson for me, oh man, anyone that puts that on number one is going to be absolutely. Bar none, I agree with you. I'm gonna give you a Bruno skull for that.
The thing about the Ospreay Takeshita match that I thought was funny was that you don't always notice that kind of thing happen in a normal wrestling match. Like that's usually something that happens in like a hardcore match or a ladder match where they've done like such crazy stunts that like then you try to do like a fucking DVD and the crowd is like, shut up. Like these dudes were just doing shit with their body that was getting that type of reaction. That is pretty fucking incredible. But yeah, that happened midway through, and then of course they got them back because they tried to murder themselves. Particularly, there was that brainbuster. I forgot that happened. Fucking
Yeah.
brainbuster that missed the turnbuckle, and Osprey just dies on his
Oh
kidney.
no!
He says
Everyone
that's
thought that was the end of the line for him, like right then and there.
he says that's the worst pain he's ever felt in his career. I can only imagine because the bruise came immediately. It was like that's
The
horrifying.
burn. Immediate burn.
Max's Pete Dunne and Tyler Bay versus the Judgment Day at Elimination Chamber is one of his favorite matches of the year. I'd have to watch that back. I'd be lying if I said if I remembered it before you mentioned it right at this moment. Andre,
remember it
thank
at
you for
all.
joining us. He says, "Hey, Doshi Radio. I've had a chance to look at WWE content on Netflix. They skipped several years of Raw. Did you guys notice? I did notice.
I haven't
I
even
didn't
looked. I have not even
noticed.
looked at it.
I turned on my VPN and I wanted to make sure I can watch the pay-per-views on Netflix if I go to the UK, and I can. But then I looked through the library and it was like, oh, this is abysmal.
Lots of missing ruthless aggression content.
It is what it is. I'm happy to have them there for now. When I lost the network, I feel like that was it for me. Like I lost my baby already. Peacock at least had more than this, so maybe some of you are feeling what I felt already. But this pain is numb for me. I don't feel that anymore. I'm sorry if you guys are going through it.
I can gladly say that I was at least able to finish off almost everything I wanted to finish off with the ECW watch. So I am mostly just indifferent to the choice at this point.
But that's what I'm saying. You had to pirate it. He had to
Well,
pirate
no, I
that
didn't.
shit.
No, I didn't have to pirate it. That was a choice. That was a choice.
You gotta
due to
watch the
particular
cut.
edit.
Choice. Allegedly.
That was a
Nothing
choice
happened,
due to
FBI.
particular.
I tried to give him an out where he had to. And he's like, I liked it. I did it because I liked it.
We all,
Just for me,
John. You know there were particular editing choices for that.
Yes, unfortunately, those dubs are horrible.
Yes, they are. Yes,
Most
they are.
dubs are.
Yeah. Those dubs that really take you out of the magic. I think about the dubs that ruin the WCW theme songs that were just ripoffs. Like when we were watching Halloween Havoc '98 and having to listen to the opening where Raven's got his WWE theme song and so does Jericho. We're like, no, it's not even time for either of those.
The Jericho one is weird because like you own that song. What are you doing?
That was some stuff too with the AEW Max. Shit that got dubbed over. I turned on that Full Gear 2019 to see that. Well, I was looking for the video quality. Video quality, crispy, beautiful. I love it. Thank you.
But
But then the Young Bucks come on and their Super Kick Party theme song is dubbed over, and I was like, what the fuck? And I guess there's a couple others that I didn't notice.
how much is Dad asking for?
I'm saying.
Too much.
I thought he really liked AEW.
Ooh, here's a bit of trivia.
He really liked the cash.
Did you guys know? So I don't know if this is how true this necessarily is, but Jimmy Hart was saying how when he produced a lot of the songs, the rip-off themes that everyone loves from WCW, a lot of those actually were a property of the Turner Network. So AEW apparently does have the ability; they could use those freely if they would like to.
I remember hearing that. There was a couple that they did use, or at least one. They used the Jericho theme from that library, right?
Yeah, and they have access to every single one of those.
Which one?
Turner generic libraries. So like anything that was a generic rock theme song, they could easily access at any time. Even I have accessed them for my own use.
That's awesome. You should bring us some of those. What's up with you?
I have them for personal use. I don't know if we can use them for this.
Don't tell him. We won't tell him. No. So I guess getting back to the
music.
getting back to the match of the year. Mac had brought up some good ones. Sting and Darby versus the Young Bucks. Perfect send off. One of the best retirement matches I've ever seen. Uh,
Yes.
DDP doesn't have his theme while he's talking about the music. And he thought Gunther versus Randy Orton deserved more love. I thought they had a pretty good match. I don't know if it cracked
They
my
did all
top.
right.
You
I
know,
don't know if it
you know
cracked my
what?
top 10.
I don't know if this is necessarily like my top 10, but I got to give a shout out to AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes in France.
You know why that match irks me? And I like that fucking match a lot, but that damn burning hammer where Cody kicks out at one, I will punch you in the fucking face. Fuck you. I'd like to my logic is that AJ does a bad burning hammer. So that's why
Well, of
Cody
course.
AJ's really bad at it.
You got real New York for that moment. He does a bad bending hammer.
He wasn't
I try
represented by the
to
true
hide my
spirit.
accent.
He wasn't represented by the true spirit like Omos was.
Omos
Oh my
goes
God.
over to Noah, pins Naomichi Marufuji. Or at least he fucking fastball special Jack Morris onto Naomichi Marufuji first. And then becomes tag team champion. The first WWE contracted wrestler to hold gold in the emerald ring. That's not emerald anymore. I don't know what they call it now. In Misawa's great canvas.
It's got some emerald on it.
I guess. Nah, I missed the green though. Anyway,
I
whatever.
Is this our award time now for our number
It's
one?
time. It's time. It's time. Let's do it.
Listen, it's time.
Match of the year. I want to hear it. Boom.
If you know, you know.
Match of the year.
Blinking, you
Nick.
missed it.
Nick,
No,
Oh,
wait, John, you have to sing the song.
you want me to sing a song? Is
You
there a
have to sing the match. It's Match of the Year by Jimmy Jacobs.
I don't remember that, Greg. Oh my god.
Yo,
Greg,
yes
you
you
can
do. You remember it now that I said it.
I don't remember that, Greg.
Oh, man.
It sounds like somebody has to take the ROH trip with me.
Reflection.
I would Greg watched all of ECW's existence. No.
No,
he didn't-
no,
He didn't
no.
start at
Damn
Easter.
out shows.
Where did you start?
That's. I started at when they started promoting the Bailey Legal pay-per-view. So I went from the first pay-per-view to the last one.
It's like 4 years, 3-4 years, right? Worth of wrestling. That Greg-
97 to 2001.
all right. So match of the year. I guess we'll let Greg go first. Mac is complimenting our graphic that I will not bring back up.
You're not going to give the encore split-second presentation?
No.
Oh my god.
No. All right. Yeah. Greg, give us match of the year, man.
Jeez, so that's tough, but I guess I just have to put it on to what I think is like probably the best spectacle. What I think is probably the greatest spectacle of the year, culminating probably one of the bigger. What is so damn funny? What is happening?
I can't even explain it.
John is just okay. John is talking to Nick now, and it's becoming a thing.
No, I whipped it out and it was tiny. my graphic that I whipped out my graphic and it was very small, unfortunately. And now I've got an enlargement on my graphic and it's properly across the screen. So Greg, we can continue this match of the year conversation.
Okay. Wow. I guess just for you know what?
Fuck.
While the answer just for pure spectacle, I feel like should be Cody and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, I think I have to go with the one that I think just meant more to me emotionally, which is Bryan Danielson's World Title match at All In.
That's a great one. I can't argue with that shit because I'm not gonna upload the video, but there's a video of my emotional reaction to Bryan winning the title. That was the highest emotional peak of the year when it comes to wrestling. Right there, nothing came close to that for me. Understandable choice. I like that. Shit. But I think I heard Nick earlier, and I know we have. I'm pretty sure the same choice.
I was all in there for Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson. You know, I even posted about it, you know, right before Christmas time. So I was like, that's my Christmas movie. I had to rewatch it, and it was just as great as I remembered it. You know, those are two of the GOATs. And when I look back at matches that were rated beyond the 5-star scale, it was mostly Will Ospreay. And if Will Ospreay wasn't in the match, guess who was? Bryan Danielson. So, of course, those two GOATs, literally and figuratively, had to go step up to the plate and be the two big names in the GOATed match of 2024. So, if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and check out AEW Dynasty, Ospreay and Danielson.
Let me talk to you.
Jesus Christ. Can I just say, I am just now reading about the fucking Amazora thing. My God.
Oh my god! Yeah, I didn't want to dampen the mood with that. But in the middle of the award show, Greg. No,
It just came across me. I was like, oh shit.
oh my god. No, I know. It's for a horrible situation. Thoughts and prayers go out to
Hey, look who's here.
everybody that's on there. Hello, our boy
He's upside down.
Macklin. He's good. He's not upside down.
He's in Australia.
Oh, am I upside down?
No, you're good.
My
good.
screen.
Wait, are you fucking good? Is he?
On my screen, he's in Australia.
Is he upside down on your screen? Let me go to one of our feeds. I never watch our feeds.
He looks perfectly fine on mine.
It's just me.
Let me see. I'm going to the live. Oh, he's fine.
Yeah,
he's
fine
alive.
It's just me. Ignore
Okay.
me then.
Okay,
Hey.
good.
I mean, first of all, thoughts and prayers out to everybody at the Azor. What's the name of the club
The
again?
Amazora.
Oh,
The
I forgot.
Amazora nightclub, the New York City arena, where House of Glory runs their shows. Horrible situation there, and I haven't heard an update, but a lot of people heard mass casualties. It's fucking crazy what's going on this new year. We just started, anyway.
Yeah.
I did want to talk to you guys. I don't even feel comfortable talking about this now. No, I did want to talk to you guys about this match of the year for me as well. Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson. Let me say, I went back. I watched this match again because I thought maybe it's not as good as I remember, because I remember watching one of the greatest fucking matches I've ever seen in my life. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe it was just recency bias. It was the moment. Nick is blurry
Sure.
as hell.
I know. I got all
Nick.
worried.
Don't cry, camera.
It'll get better.
It's okay.
Don't cry.
I can't hear Nick.
Yes, I went back and I watched this match, and
Oh no.
it's legitimately special. There are moments in this match that will make you feel the Holy Spirit. If you watch wrestling for the dance, and
The
not
Holy
everybody
Spirit?
does. Not everybody watches wrestling for the dance. Some people watch wrestling for the promos and the moments and
For the
pageantry.
drama.
The drama, that's fine. I don't have no problem with that. I understand that. That's why my 1A, 1B was Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson, and Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, because I thought Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns was like the pinnacle of that kind of
Of
storytelling.
spectacle.
Yeah, right. But this was the pinnacle of what I love in pro wrestling. I love the dance. God damn it! It's such a fucking crazy form of expression to me that we have created here. Like, when you really think about it, we're just dancing, but it hurts more. It's fucking ridiculous. And these guys, Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay, to go out there and to tell this story. There's a story in this fucking match. You sit down and you watch this 40-minute match. This is a story of a fucking cocky piece of shit veteran who comes in here and he hears this kid calling himself the best wrestler in the world, and he laughs, scoffs at it. Get in the ring with me, kid. and he spends the first half of this match. You can see it in his face. This story, and as the match goes on, and as Will Ospreay hits his fucking maniac super shit, and Brian is countering, but then all of a sudden he's starting to become a little more difficult to counter this kid. And Brian's face, he starts to become more and more concerned as the match goes on. Like, he was cocky when it started, and as the match goes on, his facials are changing, and he's like, "What the fuck is this kid?" And by the end of the match, he's desperate he's desperate, but it's like a weird acceptance, like I respect this shit. And that's when you get the moment of them charging up in the corner like they're fucking equals. And it's incredible. They fucking painted on this canvas this story here. I haven't seen a match like this live in my life. I don't think. Like, I've seen matches like this that you go to the past to watch. You know, like, I gotta go 30 years to watch people who died do things like this. Talking about two people who I was alive to witness that
in the moment.
That shit. That's a special match, man. That's very special. I even thought. No, go 1 second. I there was even a moment because I remember Brian sells the Tiger Driver really. Like, he's fucking Brian Danielson at the end of his career. If he sells this shit like Kenny Omega sold it, he's gonna die. So I remember he sold it like onto the shoulders, and I remember in my memories thinking like, "Oh man, was that a shitty sell for that?" But I go back and when I'm watching this match, it was perfect. Everything about it was fucking perfect.
Absolutely.
I could wax poetic about this match for the rest of my life. It's not only match of the year. I said it's probably match of the decade, maybe the fucking millennium so far. It's only been 25 years, and I want to be like, it's a match of my fucking century. But it's only been 25 years. There's probably another 75 to compare it to. But as of now, this might be the best match I've seen in well, it's for sure the best match I've ever seen while I've been watching live. But maybe the past 25 years, just incredible wrestling. But yeah, you were going to say
I just wanted to say that, like, that's sort of a very important thing that you can tell, like what level of trained eye somebody has when you can see that what Brian's doing out there. What's the most important thing that Brian is doing?
I cannot hear Greg.
I hear Greg.
I hear Greg. Fine. He was telling a beautiful story.
Yeah, Mac,
I cannot hear. Listen,
Mac was texting me too. You guys can hear me fine, right?
I can hear you, but if you can't hear us, you gotta reconnect.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. But you were saying trained eye.
The most important things Brian is doing in that match and in most of his matches is not what a lot of people get caught up on, being the various amounts of high impact and spectacular moves, but everything that gets done in between the moves. It's not what Brian Danielson is doing to this person. It's what is Brian Danielson going through as each move either works or does not work, and he's just like my favorite example in the world is the easiest one ever. It is fucking Bret Hart and 1 2 3 Kid. He hits that first arm drag, and Bret just looks in the camera and is just like, "Oh, shit. I gotta take this seriously."
This was that, that was just starting out.
Yeah, you're like, this is a young rookie. Let's see what he's got. Boom. Oh. Okay. All right, gotta turn it up.
He's got momentum on his side. And Greg, like, following up with that moment at the very end, where it's like, the two outlaws that are just face to face, and Tombstone just ready to duke it out. Whoever gets this last shot, they're the victor. And that was exactly what I was thinking right at the end there. How you had like the Psycho Knee versus Hidden Blade, and it was just coming down to that final shot. Which honestly, compared to how a lot of people I think view those Will Ospreay matches, especially recently, the fact that
Still
it was just slowing down and taking such an elaborate pace was pure cinematic par excellence.
It makes me think of like those shots where you just have like the two samurai with their swords charging at each other, and it's like you don't know which one's gonna hit.
One will. We don't know which one yet, but they'll hit.
another credit to Brian, like to do that spot. When you do that spot, you're saying in the story, Will Ospreay is better than me. Like definitively.
Yeah.
We took it to the limit, and at our fucking equal peak, he beat me fair and square.
Yeah.
That's so selfless. You know how many wrestlers would first have to do like I fucking fell into the corner, exposed, my arm got fucking caught, bullshit. First,
The old ring post gimmick.
yeah, protect myself. Oh fuck, I got weak first. I might have got you. Brian did that shit. They both fucking sat there, full opportunity to hit their finishes. Ospreay was better, faster, younger.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
God, I love this match so much. I want to hug it. I want to hug this match. They're not even just the match in the ring. It was the perfect atmosphere. They had this purple and gold regal shit going on. The crowd was just like the perfect cast member partner. Like, this couldn't have been written for a movie better than this. Bravo. I love this. What are you gonna say,
I wanted
Greg?
to I wanted to take that moment to I guess like ask this little question, which is like, are some of the guys, especially the names, too have they been too generous? This is an argument I have heard a few times.
Some of them have been. I argue Ospreay might have been, but he really wanted to get a Kyle Fletcher over like that. That was clear. That was very clear.
And Swerve.
And Swerve.
Yeah.
And Swerve. That's right. Ospreay was very happy to be like, let's fucking do it. Let's fucking do it. And like, I appreciate that because it's really different from like fucking Hulk Hogan, right? Or Kevin Nash and shit, you know? But also, we remember in the beginning of AEW, that was an issue that the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega had. And Cody's dumbass fucking, never want to win the world title. Like, you're all stupid. You're all stupid. I understand what you're saying, but wait, you're going too hard. Like,
I recognize Cody's point of view a little more because like Cody had to live it.
He's a fucking pussy for that shit. Oh, like the magazines were mean to my dad. The fan, like, shut the fuck up, bro.
Nobody remembers that. They just remember Dusty holding up the title.
The legacy of Dusty Rhodes is that he was world champion in NWA and all these great things. Nobody remembers the way people felt about him booking himself to be world champion, right?
That's the way everybody. That's the way. That's the way a lot of people still talk about it now. That Dusty booked himself into those.
You know, like
us. The vast majority of fans, though. Too is I love the idea that you got all these guys who are like, no, I don't. When you probably should have had like a Kenny Omega step up to the plate. Instead, you've got Jericho just like, hey, so I heard there's an opening.
I'm more understanding of that one because of the like superstar of Jericho being in front the company in the beginning.
Right.
I just thought, if maybe not at the second pay-per-view, but you definitely could have had Cody beat Jericho for the world title. Like there was no reason why not. Actually, even at the second pay-per-view, why the fuck not? And looking back, because I was watching, like I said, Full Gear 2019 now, and I was like, damn, like that's a really bad decision. Like looking back, like that's objectively a bad wrong decision. We know this now.
So I'll say this to that because I saw something very recently that I thought was very interesting, and it speaks a lot to this situation. Michael B. Jordan was talking to another guy. I think I don't remember who. I think it was Ben Affleck because they were both talking about directing their own films, directing films they were in, and they were both talking about how they both went through the same situation of just like wanting to quote be the hero and not focus too much on their stuff and help everybody else out with their stuff. And at the end of the day, when they go back to do all the work, it's like, man, I really wish I would have taken more time on my character and do it. And your character gets shortchanged because you don't want to be that asshole.
Yeah, I mean, look at the sitcom example of Cody Rhodes giving himself the perpetuity, which, by the way, it's professional wrestling. You can find a way out of there. There's always a loophole, right? Like, you just brought in Smart Mark Sterling at the same time. I guarantee that lawyer character could have figured something out. But anyways, I think about how there's a story that Larry David was telling how, on Seinfeld, like when Jerry Seinfeld would be producing or writing one of the episodes, he'd always give himself whatever the worst possible situation was of the cast of characters. And it felt like that was kind of what Cody would start to do at a certain point in time.
It was rough, but I mean it turned out okay after he left. Anyway, if I had to say, like I said, when I announced that I had a match of the year on my social medias, I had a 1A and a 1B. When I rewatched Bryan versus Ospreay, I realized how special that was, like for me. So I had to go with it by itself when we're talking about it here tonight. But Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns was the single best WWE match of the year. Probably one of the best WWE matches I've seen in years. And I've seen some people say like, well, Cody versus Roman, well, he wouldn't have been shit without all those interferences and everything at the end. I'm like, but then you're not getting the point. Like, you're not seeing what I'm saying. You're missing the point. Those interferences, all that running, that crazy ass overbooking, that is WWE. Like, that is the pageantry, the story, the drama. All those stories crossed in. The only thing it was missing, there was a fucking Steve Austin cameo instead of The Undertaker, because that would have weaved it all perfectly. But they couldn't get Austin, so they did what they could. And even then, knowing what they were trying to do
works perfectly in its own way.
Because you got to make The Rock like disappear, like in the weirdest, only in wrestling.
Not even just that, but like I pitched the idea that like fucking Undertaker is like the specter of justice over WrestleMania.
That is funny though. That works. That does work.
When a great injustice at WrestleMania is done, the Undertaker will be there.
I like to imagine he was at home on his couch watching, and he said, "This cannot be."
No, not even that. He's watching the bloodline run in, and you just see Taker at home, just starts wrapping his hands.
Oh God! It's how you open the portal. I think.
Opens the portal, he hears rolling in the distance and rides the motorcycle through it.
That's my favorite part about any Undertaker story. Is like, so Undertaker just starts wrapping his hands in the back.
He says Max says this match has no rewatchability because the surprises are ruined. I would argue that they were not surprises to me when I watched them. I don't think I was ever surprised at who showed up. It was just the way the story is told. Like when I watched Endgame the first time, I was not surprised that everybody came back to life. But when they come to that fucking portal, I'm crying like a bitch. And the fucking next 6 times I watched it, I'm still crying like a bitch because it was so beautifully done. And I like to think that the Cody Roman match has the same effect. It doesn't make me cry at all. It did make some people cry, and I don't take that from them. It was like whatever I felt when Bryan won the title. People felt that shit when Cody won the belt. They were there for 2 years and he lost it, and they felt like they got the rug pulled out from under them. And we had our fucking co-hosts. We got co-hosts crying fucking tears like, oh, this has to happen. Like
viral moments.
WWE, when it is at its finest, it'll do that to you. And I'm really happy that a lot of people got to experience that. Like I felt like that moment helped usher in a whole new era for WWE, and there's no way you can take from that. Like, I don't think as good as CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre was wrestling-wise as a match for the violent dance. When it comes to WWE things, like when it comes to what people watch WWE for, I really feel like Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns is the pinnacle of that. And then, like I said, when it comes to violent dance and all that, I have my number one.
You don't have to argue that aspect of it, that there's like 5 or 10 years of storytelling that's culminating into this one moment. So I would hope that is pretty good. But what I will say is when it comes to those surprises going on in there, the one that did swerve me was Undertaker, because I guarantee every single person was expecting Austin to be the one that ran in.
Yeah, and I mean, and then the way the story was told, like they didn't really change it. They just slotted in the Undertaker. So that's you can feel the Steve Austin of the moment. Like you were waiting for the glass to break. It didn't happen, but that's okay. Like Greg said,
in the world where we couldn't get Austin for it, at least you got Undertaker, because I feel like that's like the only acceptable other person that could have been slotted in there since Triple H can't do it anymore.
The argument for Punk versus Drew. No, go ahead, Greg.
I was gonna say, and on my cell, the argument for the Undertaker working in that situation works because he could work for every other situation after that.
He's tied in one way or another to literally every single person in that ring. You could easily at least 10 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
But also tied into the event.
Yeah, he's tied into the event. He is Mr. WrestleMania, basically. Sorry, Sean.
Suck it, Sean.
I thought that here's my argument against Punk versus McIntyre as my match of the year.
Uh-oh.
This is why, and it's nothing against that match, right? like I just said, Cody versus Roman. When you watch WWE, that's kind of what people watch it for. If I was watching WWE to see like violent wrestling matches, I would be foolish. I've learned that lesson a long time ago. I'm glad that you got that in a WWE ring. That's really surprising.
Yeah.
It was an incredible match.
I also think our level for violence is probably a little different than some others.
There's also that, and there was also that. I don't know. Like, if that's why you like Drew versus Punk, then there wasn't enough of that for me. Like, I just got Hangman versus Swerve. What are you talking about? Like, if that's what your argument is for Drew versus Punk being a match of the year, then it didn't do enough of that. And I don't agree that that's enough.
I'll use this as an example. I remember people telling me how violent the Usos versus New Day in Hell in a Cell was.
That was Tournament of Death, Age of Death level.
When he put the kendo sticks and he trapped him in the corner, Greg, come on, man.
And then he just started beating on him.
Okay, it's fucking. I love that match.
That's definitely. I was just like, that is definitely kind of violent. Yes,
doesn't compare to the violence of Fiend and Rollins, though. They had to stop that one.
Me and you have seen some very different beatings, my man.
I'm not taking away from the crazy shit Punk and McIntyre did. All right, they did some wild shit. McIntyre doing that fucking missed kick onto the steps onto his fucking spine, bananas. In a WWE environment,
all open.
Bananas.
In a WWE environment, that was probably the best wrestling match of the year. I have had my best wrestling match of the year. I have several best wrestling matches of the year that come before Punk and McIntyre. I'm sorry, and maybe maybe my subconscious bias will never allow me to enjoy this match as much as everybody else.
I don't want to say I don't want to call it a subconscious bias. Sounds weird. Everyone's got a style and everyone's got an art. They would like this is why This is why I tire of the Dave Meltzer arguments. It's like the dude likes what he likes. Like that. There's no getting past that. There's no grading wrestling on this incredibly objective scale where your preference has no meaning.
I think you can try though. That's kind of what makes it fun.
You can
try,
but you'll always fall back on it.
I can try, but then I'm like, I love Triple H versus Shawn Michaels, Hell in a Cell.
That's just feeding the lie.
It was so good. Anyway, that's our match of the year. Those are matches of the year. I thought it was fun. There's so many. This was a year full of good matches. I could go on forever. I thought Mercedes, Mercedes and Hazuki got were like the best women's match of the fucking year, and they came in right at the end.
I actually haven't seen. I bet. Okay.
Go watch that shit. Hazuki came in there like, this one's for the Americans. I want to show y'all something real fast. So then we have our next award, Moment of the Year. Get that up there real fast. Moment. There's moments. Professional wrestling is about the moments, right? That's what they say. I like to think that's not always true, but the moments do last. Moment of the year. Nick,
forever. Yeah.
What was your favorite pro wrestling moment of the year?
You know, for me, guys, I have talked a long time about this. Everyone knows by now I'm such a big WCW guy. So with that, I have to say, moment-wise, I got to look at the retirement of Sting. The send-off was
Mhm.
amazing. It was such a great way to pay respect to one of the greatest, most beloved legends, not just for fans, but also just one of the most beloved people in the pro wrestling industry itself. It's very rare that there's a person so beloved that you never hear a bad thing about them. And Sting is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, so there's a huge personal connection here. And the match itself was wild. We said it's bananas. You had glass shards, you had Darby flying through, doing that ladder spot into literally pure glass. How even if it's sugar glass, that's still gonna
Madness.
be an impact that he's gonna be facing. There's no faking that. And then on top of that, being able to see Sting's sons out there with their dad representing the different eras of Sting, it was just so freaking cool. And there's so much that I have to say for that whole pay-per-view, but the match itself that ended the show, that was awesome. And again, huge shout out to AEW and Tony Khan for giving Sting such an amazing run that culminated in such a cool match and a cool. So I have to go all in there with Sting's retirement at Revolution.
I was gonna do the Wolfpack thing, but it's like 1 a.m. over here, 1:30. It's like ow. Greg,
Back, who's your mask?
I feel like you kind of gave it to us already, but moments of the year, best moment of the year in professional wrestling.
Yeah, I think it rests right up to what I was talking about when it came to match of the year. I have my emotional resonance when it comes to match of the year, but I think the moment of the year is I guess in this day and age, some of the rarest successes of just pure babyface booking, which is Cody finishing his story.
The story, the fucking story. It was hard. It was hard not to. It was hard not to go with that. I understand. Like we said, tears. People were in tears. Samantha Irvin watched that shit and she was like, "It ain't gonna get better than this. I'm out of here.
And I'm out.
I am gonna be fucking bored for the next few years. I am not doing it. I'm out. No.
Just wanted to see the story culminate, and that's it.
I'm good. Hey, listen.
Yeah.
Understandable. I guess I'll go. I talked about it already. When Greg brought it up for his match of the year, I got real excited. But I found a screenshot. I'll show you a screenshot of the video. My moment of the year is Bryan Danielson winning the AEW World Championship at All In. I have not, like, whatever people felt when Cody finished his story, this was that for me. I think someone tweeted like Bryan Danielson winning the World Championship at All In is like Cody finishing the story for nerdy ROH marks who were in fucking forums in the 2000s. And I was like, damn, that's fucking true. It was me. I was in those dirty little forums. I was hyping that motherfucker up. I loved him forever. This was
like who allowed you to read me, bro?
I hate that they got me so well. He comes in. I don't know that I expected this, but it's what I would have wanted. Like, it's such a what I would have wanted moment. Right? You know, like, it didn't make. I don't even know if it made sense to do this. I still don't know if it made logical sense to put the belt on Bryan at this point. I'm looking at it in hindsight, and I'm like, I don't know if we should have done that, but I don't know if I want to give it away either. Like, I never would have wanted that not to happen, but also weird. Anyway,
Tony Khan for a fact was looking at that title and like, we really should have a reign for Danielson on this.
That's legitimately how it happened. This story is that sometime in April, they were like, "You're leaving, and you haven't held this fucking title." And he's like, "Well, I don't want to." And they're like, "Yeah, yes, you fucking do. You will. You will, because you're Bryan Danielson, and I want you to hold my world championship before you retire." That's very clear and simple, don't you think? He's like, I guess.
Don't you think?
I guess. And so they basically shoved this title into his hand. And every moment that he walked out afterwards wearing the world championship, I just like close my eyes and breathe it in. Like, this is not going to be for long, but give it to me. Brian's my favorite wrestler ever, and I'll show you the screenshot. That was me. The
Surprising
moment,
nobody.
the moment he won the world title, screaming my fucking lungs out. I'm not gonna have another moment like that. Probably. I don't know. Not in my adult life. Not watching wrestling anyway.
Brian Danielson winning that belt was so impactful to John that like he is holding that belt in a legitimate fact. He won the belt that night.
I feel like it was like I didn't even realize. Like I walked over to the fucking thing maybe around when it started looking like it were headed to the finish, and I walked over and I was just so excited. I grabbed the damn belt out the thing before I even realized I had it in my hands. It was. I'm definitely not gonna get another moment like that out of pro wrestling in my adult life. I'm gonna enjoy a lot of matches. And I'm going to watch a lot of wrestling, and I don't think anything is going to touch my heart the way that did. And then he got to celebrate with his family, and they made Pac smile. That was special. Pac smiled. It was it's a great, incredible moment. It will almost be. I can go on forever. Listen, moment of the year, Bryan Danielson wins the world title at All In. Hey, hello, we got comments. Max says no glasses Neek was a crazy visual.
I know, it's just as surreal as Danielson holding the title, am I right?
Dwight, thank you for joining us.
Stupid.
What's up, brother?
Hey.
Big up, for sure. He said, does anybody notice AEW doesn't show many replays during and after the matches as of late? I feel like some of that has to do with their director, but I noticed at the pay-per-view specifically, I think I even said like the replay guy's on point. They were running back the best possible angles. The slow mo looked great, but I did notice. I noticed more because it was so good at the pay per view that it hadn't been good before that. Max says he was on the highway going home, and he had the show leaning up against his dashboard. And when Brian won the title, he just honked his horn for like 5 minutes. I can't do that over here. You go to jail.
I want to know what the person in front of you had to say about that.
Max says his moment of the year, Nigel returning to the ring at All In London. Nigel means the world to him. He cried. And if you'll be happy to know that he does have a couple more matches left in him. So I wonder how Nigel's going to end that run. We're going to figure it's a match against Zack Sabre Jr., right? What else? What else is there? It's the big one. The Europe's two fucking, or at least to people who were watching wrestling in the 2000s and appreciate the European technical excellence that came from both these men. Anyway, moment of you miss it. Well, watch more Zack Sabre Jr.
The fact that like Zach's one of the few guys doing it, I'm very rueful about the fact that the classic British style is kind of like falling away to a degree.
I can't believe I didn't mention it earlier, but talking about this Zack Sabre Jr. and his style and how nobody else can actually do it with him, so it's hard for him to showcase it. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson earlier this year. Yeah, Brian's final fucking run, man, just full of matches that would be match of the year in normal years. Just like Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. went out to that ring in Japan and wrestled such a unique match. You're not going to see another match like the match that they wrestled until someone else comes into this industry and matches Zack Sabre Jr. somehow. Maybe someone who was inspired by this fucking match who hasn't trained yet, because I don't know anybody in this industry today who could do that with Zack Sabre Jr. So thank you for bringing that up, because Brian and Zack Sabre Jr.'s match earlier this year is another one of those little pieces of art that is just going to exist by itself. Like, and if Brian didn't have his match with Ospreay this year, this one might be the one. Like, Brian and Zack Sabre Jr., because of how unique it was. Because they got to go out there and just... I think Brian even said, like, he's not able to perform like this with other people. So it was like his last chance.
There's a lot of answers here that are different if Brian doesn't get his wish fulfillment run.
Did Brian take on Shingo Takagi too?
He did. He got to fight Shingo. We got the Dragon versus Dragon match.
Yeah.
He got the Dragon versus Dragon rematch.
Yeah. The 2010 match.
Him.
He wanted to run that back. It's been 15 years? And he was 14 years at the time. It was an awesome match back then too. But right,
Yeah.
so that brings us to hello comments. Max says you go to jail here for honking his horn, but he just didn't care because it's Brian fucking Danielson. Bryce says he brings up the replays because he thinks it's a disservice to the talent, not highlighting the wrestling more for those who are not familiar with the show. Oh, I don't think they have enough time.
That's it, yeah.
I was gonna say I would make the argument that it's also harder to do the replays sometimes on AEW because the wrestling can be so frenetic that it is hard to talk about the thing that just happened when there's new shit happening.
And plus, too, with modern
That's why
day
Xavier be struggling.
wrestling,
Excalibur be struggling.
here's what you're able to do with modern day wrestling, right? You can just rewind it with your remote now.
Sometimes a bad stream, you try to rewind that shit, and you think you're gonna press play, and you freeze your whole app.
You know what will prevent that? NordVPN.
NordVPN or ExpressVPN, because Nord doesn't sponsor us anymore. ExpressVPN is better than Nord. I said it. Nobody can fucking fight me anymore. No, they're not watching.
You're having your Bud Light moment, John.
Oh shit. Bud Light sucks. That was Brock Lesnar's gangster ass.
Listen, if there's a moment that deserves a replay, either John or I are going to share it to the Dirt Sheet Radio page.
Damn right.
Yes.
It's actually
I'm going to go home and have a Coors Light.
People, you know what really inspires me to do that shit? People will literally just be like, "Thank you for posting tonight." And I'll just be like,
Yeah.
like, thank you for noticing. Thank you for being there. Thank you for thanking me.
Thank you for being a friend.
Travel down the road. And
Man, it's just people legitimately just don't watch. They don't have time to watch the show, and we'll get that shit up. Get that shit up as it happens.
Yeah.
Within seconds. Otherwise, I feel spoiled. If I don't get it up in 2 minutes, I feel like I missed it.
Genuinely speaking, I only know what happens on Dynamite most of the time because John's Instagram is just going off.
Bow, bow, bow. Actually, definitely follow that Instagram. Hey, I took that bitch from 400 followers to 4,000 in a year.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Help me grow that shit. It's right there. It just passed me. But yeah, man. So that brings us to another award. Show of the year 2024. Show of the year 2024.
How many vocals are there?
I don't know. I would have to.
We'll never know again.
We'll never see it unless you rewind it, I guess. But
there's no rewinding.
Full wrestling show of the year. Oh, Dwight says, "How's everyone's feeling on the cope?" I don't know if that's gonna work for me, but I was calling him Edge anyway. I've just been calling him Edge, so I was like, I'm not gonna stop calling him Edge. No one's gonna stop me from calling him Edge. Not even him. Max says, "Where are these graphics?"
I was.
Don't worry, Max.
The cope thing was just so he got it over, cause not over with the people, but I'd heard him say he was working people toward that for a while now. That the cope open was the insidious
soft launch.
Plant the idea in your mind. Yeah,
he soft launched it.
Because he says the Adam Copeland thing it's cognitive dissonance for him. It just doesn't. It's not the same person.
It doesn't work, right? It's Adam Copeland coming out of the thing, but Cope. He's old, so does he know that Cope was already a meme thing? We've been using that to tell people to stop crying. Stop crying, Cope and Steve, bitch.
That's his plan with it, because then they're like, "But you're Edge," and he's just like, "Cope."
Oh. Jesus says, "I'm gonna stop calling him Edge when I do an interview with him." Well, I'm not gonna call him Cope. I'd rather call his ass Adam. Mr. Cope, sir. Anyway, yeah, but
our superstar Cope.
I keep seeing. I've seen some people use the "Coming to America" meme, where it's just his mama called him Clay.
His mama called him Edge.
If you think about it, it might be able to lead. Speaking of interviews, it could be a Adam Cole versus Adam Cope.
Oh dear.
Change a little letter, and there you go.
I hate this.
Cope, no land.
So we have full show of the year. I will let you guys go first. Nick, Greg, whoever
That's a
you guys
tough
can
one.
fight each other. Tough
All
one.
right.
I
I
gave
mean,
you. I gave him
I
2
have mine ready to
days.
go. I'm ready.
I told him 2 days ago.
I'm ready. I said it a little bit earlier, but honestly, from top to bottom, I absolutely enjoyed everything that had to do with Revolution. AEW Revolution was probably my favorite show of this whole year. It again was just solid. Every single match in their own way delivered, and it was what I love about AEW, which is it's a variety show. You never had the same exact match twice in a row. And again, I
Greg,
say just live with it, watch it, enjoy it.
Mm.
Greg, your mic is right in your breathing stream.
Right in the brief stream.
Right in the brief stream. We
That's
can
where
hear
Greg
the
goes.
ins
Oh,
and the outs. But
Revolution.
understandable. AEW Revolution 2024, incredible show.
Poor Sting.
Greg, what was your show of the year?
Oh God. I'm really struggling on this one, to be honest. It's hard for me to pick out a full show that top to bottom that I thought was like gangbusters all the way, the closest I'm coming. And I feel terrible about the fact that I feel like I'm leaving a show out, but I can't count it yet because Stardom hasn't uploaded Queendom.
That was a contender. That's been a contender multiple times too.
Yeah, like because that card is bananas, and I want to watch it, but I can't. I feel like a lot of the Stardom cards have been very good to me, but I need to pick one out. I don't. None of the WWE pay per views or the AEW reviews, I think top to bottom have clicked for me like that. I guess the easiest one would have been All In, but even that was like, that has some weird parts in the middle. Yeah, I guess with unless I can find something that I remember off the top of my head, it would have to probably be All In.
All right, yeah, all in was a choice for me at first. Like you said, though, when I looked through the card, I was like, man, I remember some of these being a little wonky, or at least,
Yeah.
they delivered. But going into it, you were like, oh man, how's that gonna be? I'm gonna go to a different show. We're really rude here today. Really rude. It was 2 o'clock in the morning here. Nobody gives a fuck. I am Alexa. Anyway, my show of the year was actually AEW and New Japan's Forbidden Door, 2024. That fucking card, all the way through, as far as I remember. Even the pre-show, fucking had Kyle Fletcher and Serpentico wrestling in front of like nobody
Serpentico.
for like 3 minutes. It was the funniest shit I've ever seen. But the main show starts. You got fucking Lucha Bros versus the. Oh no, this was actually still the pre-show with the fucking Lucha Libre Dream match that they had with the Lucha Bros taking on. Oh, this is the Lucha Bros teaming with Mystico against Yorasuji, Hiromu Takahashi, and Titan. Fucking even when the pre-show kicked off with that, you knew it was gonna be some sick shit. Oh gosh, Greg, we really gotta get your mic out of your nose. I don't know what happens, but it definitely it becomes loud. The whole fucking card, if I just go through it, MGF opened with Hechisoro, sick ass match. The Elite defeated fucking Anthony Bowens, Matt Caster, and Billy Gunn's favor, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Bryan Danielson versus Shingo. Tony Storm and Mina fucking killed it. Zack Sabre and Orange Cassidy killed it. I forgot Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata even had this match, but it went 15 minutes. That might be a blemish. I don't remember. They fought the learning tree. But it was and Jeff Cobb. Sick ass ladder match with Jack Perry, Takeshita, Briscoe, Dante Martin, Leo Rush, El Phantasmo, Mercedes Moné, and Stephanie Vaquero have a great match. That was so good. WWE all of a sudden noticed Stephanie Vaquero. Naito had one of his best matches in a long time with his fucked up back against Jon Moxley. And then Swerve and Ospreay had one of the best matches of the year. Forbidden Door was incredible. I love that show. Actually, I remember thinking it was the best Forbidden Door so far. And probably AEW's best top to bottom card. even though some people were making the argument for World's End, I thought the World's End crowd was really shitty and took a star away from the show. But and you had the two WrestleManias. Two WrestleManias. I only remember the main event right now. If a lot of people were like night one for some people was a show of the year. I mean, I
Really?
guess like I don't know, but I'm not gonna hold it against you. It was a really big WrestleMania. You had The Rock on it, so that's cool. It's
You
not
did,
show of the
yes.
year. It's not the show of the year for me though. Like I said, there's several.
An all-out tag match.
Because of the way I enjoy wrestling. These damn AEW pay per views, they always are going to come first because they like whatever you say about the weekly show, they come and they have these pay per views, and you just leave thinking, like what the fuck was that? That was incredible. That was awesome. Wrestling is awesome. I love pro wrestling, and so it's harder to go to WrestleMania when I'm so serviced as a fan right now with these kind of matches. But yeah, man, that's show of the year, and so that brings us to what is it? Is this the last one? It might be. It just might be. Wrestler of the year.
Yeah.
Wrestler of the year, 2024.
My God.
We were just gonna do like a full on wrestler of the year, but I guess you have to do a man and a woman because it's just not fair. It's just not fair because I guess a man is always going to win wrestler of the year for some reason. I don't know. Is that sex?
I didn't have a man.
Mostly be.
I had a female wrestler ready to go for mine, so.
I mean, that's good though. Maybe we don't have to do
placement.
Maybe we don't have to do because I was like, damn, I picked a man too. But
I didn't. I think technically ladies first at that point.
Sure, we might as well. Women. Who was your women's wrestler of the year, Nick?
I just used to squeeze my way in. Let me tell you about Will Ospreay. No, I'm just kidding. Nah, listen.
Nice.
When it came down to someone that was absolutely incredible this year, this past year, it's 2025 right now. I need to get my head in the game. When I think about 2024 and I think about, who was the most entertaining woman on the whole roster, when I think about, who was just entertaining, period, who was able to bridge the gap between, me as a hardcore fan and like my friends and family who might be more on the casual side of things, I don't think there was anyone that was able to hit that bar more in wrestling at all, man or woman, compared to Timeless Toni Storm. I have to go 100%. Okay. Timeless Toni Storm was a great champion. She absolutely killed it. She brought the golden age of Hollywood back. She went viral with nearly everything she did. My mom is a huge old Hollywood fan. Plus, she also is a big wrestling fan too. And she absolutely loved everything that Toni Storm was. And so many people that I knew who they might not have even been wrestling fans themselves, they were talking about Timeless Toni Storm, and they'd even ask me like more about like her character because they really liked what it was. And again, it was so interesting, it was so unique, it was so much fun, and every single match she had, no matter who it was against, she found a way to make it entertaining. Even if it wasn't the greatest in-ring match, you knew you were going to have fun with it because of Toni Storm.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the beginning of the gimmick, I remember thinking she's still in the beginning when it first started. She was still, I thought, trying to find the balance between the character and the wrestling. And when she found it, because she damn sure did find it somewhere around the time where she fought Azumi on that Collision, where it was like it just fucking clicked. And from that moment on, every match after that, she just got it, and she fucking had that character mixed with the wrestling. And like I said, by the time she had the match with Mina, and by the time she had the match with Mariah, and all these other matches she had on Dynamite, she was killing it. Her story arc was one of the best stories of the year. I'm saying that it finished in fucking August because then we had the latter half where the women's division suffered because they didn't have such a strong story. Probably because the Mina Shirakawa isn't always available.
But presence of the character of Toni, and even then, like, look at her coming back as the rookie that she is. This new rookie just joining AEW, finally all elite. You could tell there's a lot of areas to go with this, and I can't wait to see what happens with that whole story.
there's still the question too. Like, does she have amnesia? Is she avoiding it?
Yeah,
You know, like there's a fun little
purposeful.
hook to what she's doing right now, where she didn't just come back as like time. Like, all right, got rid of the timeless. I'm Tony Storm again. It's like a hook to the it's the
Kill some
story.
time for a bit.
Even in the match, she's still like going for the pose by accident and being like, oh, actually, no, fucking rocker Tony Storm. That's right. So we still have chapters to uncover with Tony, and yeah, she was also my women's wrestler of the year. Dwight says Tony's good, but don't sleep on Roxanne Perez in NXT. One of the things about Roxanne Perez that kind of sucks, and it reminds me of Athena, is that they're doing all this good work, and it's not in front. Like, fuck, I haven't even seen. Like, I have to go back and watch it. Like, I never see it live. It's fucked up. It's on me.
Roxanne and Athena are two other good choices, I'd say.
Athena, Roxanne, Mariah May, Rhea. I don't know, say Rhea. I wouldn't say Rhea. She just hadn't had enough. Like, she's over as fuck. But what? Like, give me a good Rhea match. I dare you. This year, and it's not even her fault. It's just people. She booked the fucking Liv Morgan for the past fucking 3 months. What the fuck is Liv Morgan gonna do with Rhea Ripley? They've been telling a great story, but in the story even peaked a while ago, and now we're bored with that shit. And in ring, that shit ain't ever clicking. But if I had to go with a women's wrestler of the year as well, it's also gonna be Tony Storm. Athena's the only reason to watch ROH. You're right, and that's why they don't take her off ROH. Oh, Greg, the mic is back in your nose. No, you got to get it out of your fucking nose. You really do. That's
It's
important.
literally all the way down here.
Breathe better. No, I'm kidding. Oh, shit. He breathed hard on purpose. Christopher, thank you for joining us. He says Roxanne will be on the main roster after she loses her NXT Women's Championship. For sure.
It's gonna probably take hard for that to happen.
No, it'll be next week actually. On Tuesday. She's cooked. It's over. New Year's Evil. She's got Julia in the rematch. It's pretty much over. Like, that run is done. 2025 for Roxanne is on the main roster, almost guaranteed. And I wouldn't be surprised if that starts at the Royal Rumble or something.
I remember when I felt this way when JBL had the big 4-way match and he still came out with the belt.
At the fucking belt. What was it? Undertaker, Booker T, and
Undertaker, Booker T, and somebody else.
Christian.
Was it Eddie Guerrero?
Was it Christian?
It wasn't Eddie. Christian was on Raw.
No, because he just switched over.
No. In 2004 December, he didn't switch over until 2005 summer.
Oh, I was thinking of this. What was I thinking of?
JBL has the 4-way with Undertaker, Booker T, and Eddie Guerrero because those were his challengers throughout the past year. That's actually really good booking. What the fuck? Where's WWE at with this?
I was thinking about the SmackDown Championship.
When Batista comes over with the world title and we never get to see. You know, as a kid, that really fucking irked me.
I hated that.
Teddy Long comes out with a bag and he acts like there's a new belt in there, and we're about to find out what this SmackDown Championship looks like. And then Batista comes out as the new draft pick, so they don't need it, and we never see what the fuck is in the bag. Fuck you.
What's in the bag?
What's in the bag?
Allegedly, I heard it was the WWE Tag Team title.
I think it looked like it when you go back and see, because they didn't have no plans to actually introduce a belt, so I'm sure that's exactly what it was.
That's funny.
Can I have one of those, please?
Absolutely not.
What is her favorite women's wrestler?
There's time to answer. Favorite women's wrestler?
Exactly.
Great choice.
How do you disagree with that? It's such perfect logic.
Honestly, I want
It's
to
a
change.
great argument, honestly. I can't fault it.
Yeah, can I change?
Greg, who's your woman of the year?
With all respect to the fact that I wish it was a different award that I could give to Mina Shirakawa, because I think she counts somewhere as my breakout wrestler of the year with the year she's had.
I can see that.
But it's tough when you're not on top, baby. At the end of the day, I think Goes up.
No, I was gonna say I have like a small. I don't know why, but I get this feeling in the back of my head like she's actually gonna beat Mercedes on Sunday. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
I would like her to, but
We'll see. It's
happen now.
just it's
is
just
it
weird.
just for the strong belt?
Yeah, it is. That's why. It's just for the strong belts.
That's probably why.
And Mercedes asked her to put the Rev Pro belt on the line.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. It's supposed to be title for title, right?
I just feel like it'd be weird for Mercedes to have the Rev Pro belt. Like, okay, I guess. Can you afford that? Like, does TK take care of that? Like, how does that work?
I think I'm gonna put my Women's Wrestler of the Year on the woman who got to redeem the spot that was taken from her last year after the tournament injury, which was Saya Kamatami. Just won the Wonder of Stardom Championship.
Bad woman.
She won the Wonder of Stardom Championship after reinventing herself as the Phoenix Queen, PHNENX, I think. Coming back after the injury where she had to be eliminated from the tournament last year, which probably would have been her shot, and everybody said she was going to win. Yeah, great redemption for that character, great wrestler. I'm glad she finally got that spot.
Great heel turn.
And she had a fantastic year under that new aura. Yeah, fantastic heel turn.
They had. Oh, I'm not gonna spoil Queendom for you, but there's a very good full circle moment on this show that references last year's Queendom. I was like, oh, you guys are fucking good. So definitely look out for that. But Christopher says Liv Morgan is better.
I have a feeling it would be because.
let me talk about that for a second.
I have a feeling it would be because of Okay, good. Let's talk about Liv Morgan.
Let's talk about Liv Morgan here for a second. Okay, Liv Morgan.
Let's talk about Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan, the only award she's gonna get from me this year is the best. I don't know, maybe like carry job. No, she got booked. She got booked really well. She's WWE's favorite at the moment, and so they booked her as it. She got over, and that's what matters. I think that she's very successful at doing her job. That's about it. I think that she gets the crowd mad at her. She gets them to boo Dom. I think that the shtick is old, tired. I think it works on children. I think it works on WWE children crowds. And I think that it comes across good on TV because of that. I think if you're looking for substance in Liv Morgan right now, you're not going to find any. I think her shit is whack, if you want to be serious. But beyond that, well, like I said earlier, when I'm watching wrestling, it's for the in-ring, and Liv Morgan is not going to give me that. She's not providing that. Roxanne Perez, absolutely. Roxanne Perez, Chris says Roxanne is better than Liv. Roxanne is miles better than Liv Morgan. And Roxanne got the heel character thing down now. So, like, she's blowing Liv Morgan out the fucking water. Jesus. Her matches, I'd argue Liv is an anchor to Rhea Ripley right now, who dragged Rhea Ripley so far down my fucking ranking this year with these fucking matches that they were having.
Constantly.
These stinkers that they were having.
I don't think they sunk at WrestleMania.
Did they?
Better than Uso versus Uso.
It was hard not to suck when you had Jay and Jimmy. Did they fight each other at WrestleMania? They didn't fight each other at WrestleMania. Liv? No, Rhea fought Becky Lynch at WrestleMania, and that was good.
Yeah, wasn't Rhea sick during that one too?
Yeah, she had a flu, and she fought Becky Lynch, and that match slapped.
Okay.
And the whole
There it is then.
thingy.
The Liv Morgan SummerSlam match had the benefit of going in. The story was still hot, and I remember even saying like,
stadium.
Yeah, I remember saying like, okay, you know, I'm not gonna hate on this, even though the wrestling is not good, but you know, people are involved and the storyline is big, but it kept going and going and going and going, and the fucking, oh god, this just sucks. Yeah, Liv sucks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I think Liv Morgan sucks.
Yeah, Liv's
Max
not a.
says
Liv's not a great wrestler, but like
I
that's
like.
I think there's something to be said of at the end of the day, where as we've noted several times when it comes to just it being WWE, there's something to be said for having a character that got over strong and just kept going.
Yeah, like I'm saying, it's very
Absolutely.
successful. I'm just this year. I don't want to be objective anymore. I just want to say she sucks. I hate watching her
Ah.
matches. I'm sorry. I like looking at her. She's very nice, very pretty. She's very entertaining. Mic work is pretty good. I mean, I'm not, like performance wise. When I say mic work in WWE, like she can perform.
She's a
the
character, and the
very well.
character's working.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
She's got a great cast of other characters that supplement herself
Yeah.
and really add on to that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with this Finn Balor thing. It looks like they're gonna turn a page on the Judgment Day and maybe close the book on that. Actually, they got rid of the other side music and everything.
I'm more curious if this means like if Liv, as they've been hinting on screen, is healing against Dominic, does this make a Dominic a face turn? And I was just like, what does that look like?
I don't know if that works. I think people have too much. They have too much fun hating him, and he's too sleazy. Like it's a whole thing. Like he's got a sleazeball look. He looks greasy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's his thing.
Yeah,
he worked very hard.
And like it just makes you go. It just makes you go like, well, where do you go from here with Dom after that? Like I don't know. That's weird.
But yeah, man, that's the women's wrestler of the year. So that means there's only one last thing to talk about tonight. The big one. Men's wrestler of the year. Is that wrong to call it bigger than women's?
I think that's
Sorry. Listen, I'm on a team. I got a wiener, and they have wieners too. I guess.
Jesus Christ.
Let's go, Ben.
John, are you a Mennonite?
A what? I don't want to get caught up, Greg. Don't catch me. I agree to this thing, and then tomorrow there's a damn
waking up and like, why do I have like a million notifications?
Did you say my mom? My mom wrote me. Did you say you were a Mennonite? Shit. No, men's wrestler of the year. Who went last? Greg, you'll go first. Men's wrestler of the year.
For what it's worth, Mennonites are just like a Christian group from like Europe.
Did you have to look that up?
If you'd go for it.
You motherfucker! You were gonna make me say something you don't know the meaning of.
No, I remember. I know it wasn't a big deal because it was in a Weird Al song, and Weird Al makes it clear to be as clean as possible.
That give me your fucking wrestler of the year, Greg.
Gosh, where do we go from here?
Where do we go now? Where do we go?
I
guess it just ends up ending on Bryan Danielson, doesn't it?
It's hard not to. Even though he retired in October, he somehow still had a better year than about 97% of the world in wrestling. Like,
yeah,
fulfillment, baby.
I respect that Cody Rhodes' answer. Like, dude, he's on top of the biggest company in the world. Like, that's a respectable call.
I can't disagree with you, Greg. Bryan Danielson, but I guess if that's I thought you were gonna make more of an argument for him, but he was just like, bam, Bryan Danielson, bitch. Understandable, I respect it.
I can't think of anybody else I wanted to watch wrestle more. If anyone knows anything about me, the fact that I was interested in a Lucha Libre match just because Bryan Danielson was in it says how much of a draw he is for me. I've gone to 2 AEW shows just because there was a Bryan Danielson match on it.
It's that serious for I guess for people who've been watching Bryan since the old days, Ring of Honor, people like Greg, people like myself.
I
Nick,
got to watch Brian Danielson and Nigel McGuinness live.
lucky piece of shit.
Which,
Christopher
by
says,
the
"How
way,
about
I still owe you a poster. I have to find a poster too.
you got to remind me. I forgot you had that. I got to send you the money.
Yes,
And the shipping. I really want that poster." Christopher
know.
says, "How about Gunther?" Let me tell you about Gunther. I love
I
Gunther.
respect. I love Gunther too.
I
Good
talked
choice.
about this on Monday on the Raw stream. I popped in because I had to, because I was like, they mentioned Ludwig on Raw, and I was like, they keep mentioning Ludwig. Where the fuck is Gunther? There's no Gunther mentioned, and Raw is about to have the biggest Monday Night Raw in the past I don't know how many fucking years, and he's not
Mhm.
advertised. He doesn't have a match, and CJ was like, well, maybe he'll show up unannounced. I'm like, I'm sure he will. The champion of the brand has to show up unannounced
The
on
world
the
champion
what? And that's pretty much my problem. And that's the
and
thing that keeps
well-protected
Gunther.
wrestler at that.
That
That's
keeps
fair.
him out of the rest of the year contention for me because it's been this way since he won the world title. He's technically climbed the ladder from intercontinental to world champion, but I'd have to argue that he was treated much better as the intercontinental champion when it comes to being featured on TV. It's fucking crazy to me that they got this world championship. They worked with all this trouble to make it mean something with Rollins. Dropped it to fucking Damian Priest, who kind of struggled, but then kind of got it at the end, and then dropped it to Gunther and just made it the B belt. Like, just treated it like the B belt, even on its own show where it doesn't have to compete for time with another belt. It somehow still feels like the B belt. Insane to me.
So, interestingly, to some degree, both championships went through this. Gunther went through it worse because both belts ended up having to compete for time against these two personal items, being the Ulafala and the vaunted bracelet of doom. The problem is, Cody was such a strongly booked character that it went all right. There was no booking for Gunther to stand up against what Drew McIntyre and CM Punk were doing in the slightest.
At all. He wasn't even on the pay-per-view with them.
Nope.
Yeah. That's just a case of like Gunther as the wrestler, whenever he gets in the ring, he does everything he needs to do and he puts on great matches, but the booking for him has been weak as shit.
You know when you say something like this feud doesn't need the world title, that kind of the implication is that the world title will also be okay without it. You know, like it will have a spot. I'm sure it's the world championship. So like when
Follow the brand.
CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, like, okay, they don't need the world title, but at this point, if the world championship was going to disappear because of them, then why don't you just put the fucking belt on McIntyre or Punk or something? Because at least it would have felt like it was important.
Nick, I need you to mark this moment down. John just said, why not put the belt on Punk? I need this clipped. I need this saved.
That's horrible.
Hour 39, everyone. Make sure we grab this.
I got caught up. I'm going to take that back. Can we strike that from the record? Can we pull that?
I'm
Why
putting
is
it
this
in the
episode missing
chat.
all of a sudden?
God damn it. Shut this down. Shut this down. Shut this down.
This is worse than John realizing he's slurred.
Oh,
my
fuck.
God.
At least with that, you know they'll cut you off. With this, I have to make the decision to end this. So good night, everyone.
Thanks for joining us. You'll never see me at this ever again.
No, but yeah, that's my argument against Gunther as Wrestler of the Year. Nick, I guess it'll be your turn.
Yeah, I mean, I joked about it, but honestly, it was 100% true. My Wrestler of the Year when it comes to the men's. So I want to know what's going on here. I want to eavesdrop. Ooh. All right.
Uh-oh. Greg, you too loud?
Oh no! He's my roommate said to me he's gonna shave. It's gonna get loud.
Oh.
Ooh. Okay, well, I'll rapid fire this then. I have to
shave.
say it. We talked all about it. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. He's got some of the best matches in there. Will frickin' Ospreay. How can I pick anyone else? The man's one of my favorites. He's the guy where every time I watch him in the ring, I keep saying to myself, why are they not building the company around this guy? He is absolutely tremendous at what he does. No matter what, good, bad, ugly, different, it doesn't matter. People talk about him. He goes viral every single time that I see anything about him posted online. He, again, wrestles unlike anyone else. He is just absolutely incredible in the ring. Again, he's had more high rated matches from not just like like industry insiders, but also from just people overall who like wrestling, like you, like me. There's so many people love and respect his workload, and again, bruv, this is just the guy for me. So I gotta say,
Bruv.
wrestler of the year, bruv, Will Ospreay.
Yes, excuse me. So, when I first thought about wrestler of the year, Will Ospreay was like my reflex answer, and I was like, well, that
Mhm.
came to me too fast, so I'm gonna have to really think. I'm gonna try to make arguments for
Oh,
other
John, there were
wrestlers.
6 matches.
I was gonna try to make arguments for other wrestlers against Will Ospreay, and then I
Sure.
tried to make the argument for Cody, and ultimately I was like, well, he had a really weak like first half. Like it started picking up because like immediately after Roman, it was like it felt like he didn't have anything. And then when he got back involved with the bloodline, it started feeling like, okay, well, Cody, oh, now Cody matters. Coincidence that it's the bloodline that he had to be back involved with? Maybe. But
Yeah.
and as good as his matches were, like he had the good match with Owens. He had the who was his
Yeah.
immediate AJ Styles, and it was like they just were like in a holding pattern until they could figure out what comes next, and then they lost The Rock, and so they pivoted to what they're doing now. But yeah, that wasn't
Moana
as strong.
reshoot.
That wasn't as strong as Osprey. So then I thought about Gunther, and I thought about all the things I just talked about. That's not as strong as Osprey. And then I thought about Brian. Brian's fucking year, and Brian is my favorite wrestler in the universe. How many times am I going to say that? The best wrestler to ever breathe. Um, his year, just as a fan, for me, like his wish fulfillment was my wish fulfillment. Anytime he got something that he asked for, I got something that I asked for. It was just like constant wish fulfillment for me. But that ended right in October, and Osprey kept going, and Osprey kept being
Sure.
Osprey until the very last day of the year. So that was like the last thing. Then I fucking actually took a look at his match catalog this year, and I think that cemented it. It's just every person that he stepped in the ring with had their best match of the year against him. It's on another level. This guy right now, it's scary the way he wrestles because you should probably find a way to slow down on television, maybe like see week to week, so that you don't die. But he says he's literally incapable of it. He doesn't know how. He has to. His body has to tell him how to wrestle. So like he literally will have to be in pain before he's gonna adjust. Like that's horrifying. But that being said, his 2024 unbelievable wrestling wise. So that's Will Ospreay is also going to be my wrestler of the year 2024. Hard to think of anybody else.
Yeah.
It really is. I think the only other person I would have thought of when it comes to like both match quality and success, and maybe I'm just using this as an excuse to put a highlight on him, is probably Zack Sabre Jr., who got to do the impossible this year.
Finally, world champion in New Japan.
Yeah,
Even though it's what is it called now? The World Heavyweight Championship. Hey, it's still a world title.
it's the double world title because it's the International Wrestling Grand Prix World Championship.
That's redundant. But
A little bit.
But yeah, man, those are our awards. This is very fun. Had a lot of fun. 2024 was a crazy year for professional wrestling. It was a crazy year for Dershi Radio. I said I have never had a year, at least as an adult. Maybe there were a lot of good years as kids when things were free, but I have never had a year that go this well for myself and for Dershi Radio. Even though there was a lot of bad things, but I feel like ultimately it was really nice. Wrestling, Dershi Radio. Thank you guys for supporting us and for being here every week. We are fucking nuts. We're out here in the middle of the night. But
It is 5:19 a.m.
Oh, just give
It's
me a
the
few
morning
seconds.
now.
It's 4:19 a.m. over here.
Mm.
He just said
Regrettably,
it's the morning and went offline.
regrettably, we will not be here as we have for the last few years to do the Wrestle Kingdom live streams. Those were a lot of fun, and I wish we could, but I have to work this year.
Hello, I got
And
lost.
he's back.
Fuck, that was crazy.
Hello, John.
Hey, Chris
I
just
was just
subscribed. Thank you for subscribing, my brother, man. It's been fun.
respect.
Yes, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Loves us 2025.
Welcome
Let's
back.
go. Yeah, 2025 is going to be incredible. I don't know if I don't even know if I know what we have in store. Like it's that kind of crazy. I'm flying by the seat of my
Yeah.
pants. It won't stop. I don't know what comes next. But I know it's going to be big.
just noting the slight regret that we won't be doing, unless you have one I don't know about, that we won't be doing the Wrestle Kingdom live stream this year.
I coughed in my New Year's show.
I really wanted to. It's Saturday and Sunday too. It's the first time for in a long time that's on a weekend.
Right, which means I have to
usually-
work.
Yeah, that's like the ironic part. Like, and now because it's not in the middle of the week, you're gonna be busy. But I was thinking about doing the watch along because I thought
If it
I had
keeps
a
you up.
conversation. It was a YouTube thing. I mean, I might want to. I'm really working on the YouTube, and I was like, gosh, not a lot of people are going to be doing watch alongs, and so that's an opportunity to do something that not a lot of people are doing, and it's a weekend too, so like, there's a lot of extra people
You get-
watching. I would
You get
be
to funnel
lazy.
all the attention.
If I didn't do it, I would be lazy and working against myself. I really
Sure.
don't want to. That card doesn't appeal to me. In a way that makes me want to do a watch along. None of the cards do. The fucking Wrestle Dynasty show. I'm looking at this shit, and I'm like, they sold it like it was AEW coming to the Tokyo Dome for the day after Wrestle Kingdom when they first announced that shit. They really sold it that way. And the closer and closer
I
you
heard
get,
you talk about this on the post show where you've seen the grift.
yeah, the closer you get to the show, you're like, you fucking lying bastards. This is this is just Wrestle Kingdom Night 2. You put AEW fucking logos on it and they sent some guys over, but this
That's
is
it.
fucking this is bullshit.
They put CMLL logos on it, and it only means the two women that showed up.
Well,
Fuck.
too, it's like not even anyone like unusual. It's always the usual suspects as well.
Yeah, it's like, oh, all the normal people who go to Japan
Yeah.
are gonna be there. Nice, thanks. I guess. And you could tell because if it was like AEW going to Tokyo Dome, Tony Khan would be shitting himself. Like there would be so
Yeah.
much promotion for that. They were already promoting like Revolution. They didn't promote this show at all. They didn't even. When Kenny Omega came back on the pay-per-view, Tony Schiavone was like, "We still don't know if Kenny Omega could get back in the ring." Like he's booked.
He's
For
got a
the-
match book on a show that you guys are on.
Liar.
On the marquee for it.
Anyway,
This was Gabe Kidd's whole argument.
anyway, listen. If you enjoyed having fun with us here tonight, you're in luck. We're on almost every day.
Yo, what's on?
We're on fucking Mondays after Raw, Tuesdays after NXT, Wednesdays after Dynamite, Thursdays after Impact, Fridays after SmackDown. Obviously, Thursday mornings you can catch Nick, Greg, and I live talking shit about professional wrestling the last 7 days. And Sundays, CJ and Tyler, they have the I'm fucking dying over here. The Weekend Wrestling Roundup with a W. You also got the boys, 3T Wrestling. And on January 10th, you got Nick and Mac. And I think Robbie. Is Robbie going to be there?
Probably. Hopefully. I think so.
Whoever the fuck is going to be there. They're going to be talking about one of
You
the
can join us too.
worst wrestling shows ever. WCW Greed.
2001,
Oh
baby.
my god. Oh,
Be
that's
there.
so
Last
gross.
1, 2. Because
Be there.
we put all of the great 80s options and no one wanted that one.
Damn right, Kenny Omega will be on Dynamite next week, Chris. And we're going to be there to talk about it immediately after the show's over. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. or for if you're watching live, if you're listening on the podcast, I love you. 2024 was incredible. You did that for us. So now we're gonna do 2025. Thank you. Have a good night.